Hi, Leo. Welcome. If it's not the main event, here we are. I've been talking to all of the signs of the zodiac. The only sign left to do is Sagittarius after you. And we've been talking about the astrological events of July. Most of this reading is going to dance around the idea of manifestation. And what do we have in our favor for that manifestation? It's because Jupiter is entering your sign, and you are a child of God who teaches the rest of the zodiac just how to do that, right? Okay. So I am going to use the karma cards. They are separated into planet, sign, and house. And they also have upside down, like inherent reversals, conscious and subconscious. They are separated into spiritual, mental, and physical. So we'll use these little tidbits, these insinuations, as suggestions for how to channel the messages. And so here are some of the dates, right? So on the 30th, of course, that is when Jupiter enters your sign. Also on the 3rd, Mercury enters your sign. On the 6th, the Sun enters Cancer. On the 11th, Venus enters Virgo, which is the 9 of Pentacles in the tarot. On the 13th, Mars enters Libra. And then on the 23rd, the sun enters your sign. And on the 28th, Mercury enters Virgo. Okay. So let's just get into it. All right. So this is how you will see that there are no favorites between conscious and unconscious. I have done this on camera for all the signs. Two more. Sweet. Okay. For Leo, for July 26th. Oh, also, on the 26th of July 2026 is when the nodes will shift and they will move into the Aquarius and Leo axis, which is going to affect you. That's the south node in Leo, the north node in Aquarius. There is already a video about that. You can check it out. All right. For Leo, for July 2026. Planets, what do you got? Mercury. Mercury is in Cancer and it's going retrograde. This could be impacting your ideas about how you've been emotional or lacking emotion. You could be taking a closer look at what you've done to nurture yourself or nurture others, and maybe have some ideas about your misgivings or recalculations about how you want to show up going forward. I don't know what that will look like, but I do know I've got some messages here. So spiritually, we're talking about the awareness of mentally many thoughts about or from, and physically many words. Okay, but because Mercury is stationing retrograde and it's in Cancer, this is going to be of an emotional component, even though normally Mercury is an air, mental, communicative element. Now, Neptune is at the bottom. So there's some hopes, there's some dreams, there's some fantasy here mixed in with the awareness of many thoughts about or from and many words. Now, we're going to use the Tarot of the Longest Dream to pull out the spread and clarify with the Vintage Tarot. Two more shuffles. One more shuffle. Okay. For Leo, for July 2026, please and thank you. The Two of Wands, active decision making, Aries energy. Page of Cups, forgiveness, openness, brand new emotional experience. The Queen of Pentacles, boundaries, investing in yourself, learning yourself, studying yourself. Four of Swords, putting something to bed, rest, recovery, repose. Also a funeral of what was the old you if you've been undergoing changes. 10 of Wands, the burden, complete, packed up. 10 of Swords, wow. So the physical exhaustion and the mental exhaustion, done. there have been limits of your mind and how you could see this thing through to take this next step, this very important step. It's been really challenging. So, Mercury again is the structures of the psychological aspect of your thinking. And I feel like I should expand on this because you're a fixed sign. So, there is the structure of our mind, right? The parameters by which we make decisions. There's also the lens with which we receive information, right? Um, all of that is part of your Mercurian details. But there's also the way that you follow the Mercury, right? Because if you know Mercury as the the actual metal, is it a metal? I guess it's a metal. It breaks off, but it's always whole, and it's hard to follow because it goes into so many different areas, and it just gets smaller and smaller and fragmented and more fragmented and more fragmented, and in that way, it's kind of like an escape artist, right? So the Mercurian details that are not obvious are how well you can track, trace, and follow your thoughts in the inner dialogue. Because if you don't, and I will tell you why I'm talking about this, here is the product of you sabotaging, misleading, misgiving, and distorting your own self, lying to your own self, selling yourself something which is not real and buying it at full price. And it's because all the other parts of the Mercurian details that I explained are part of it, right? Seeing something through a faulty lens, could then make you liable to have many fragmented thoughts, not follow all of them, and have an emotional response to one of them. So you lose sight of the whole picture, say things that you don't mean, maybe manipulate others to get your way, and or want to win at all costs. Those are some of the elements present from the Five of Swords. It's unpleasant, right? So if the Five of Swords is coming as a warning, it's saying, hey, be sure that you see the whole thing before you say something that's going to ruin the whole thing. If it's coming late, it's talking about how um, you're in a process to ruin the whole thing. Or rather, it shows you step by step how you've made more of a mess than you needed to. Okay, so Two of Wands. That's where we are going to start, and we're going to take the 2 and go to the 10. Why? Because between the 2 and the 10 is 8. And 8 of Wands is communication. And this is a message that has to do with Mercury. So the awareness of your spiritual connection, many thoughts, your mental acuity, and many words physically when you go to express the thing that you care about. Now, 8 in tarot is power. So the power of your communication, not only receiving the information as it downloads into you, but then the delivery as you exchange and give that to another or to several others. So from the Two of Wands to this exhausted place, we have a very young, impressionable, childlike, or childish, sorry, confused, clumsy, emotional energy. We have a head of state, which to me represents the boundary or the border with which this Page of Cups is protected. Okay? She, not that it's a she in you, you could be masculine, but she's on the card and she's feminine. She has her limits, she has her conditionality, and she has her hard lines. And if for whatever reason there's an idea that cannot be communicated because the Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which is pain and disappointment. So if there's something that has caused pain or disappointment and you can no longer communicate the thing because your feelings are hurt and you're in this place of a new emotional landscape, suffering, right? trying to understand why we have the depths of the feelings that we do, then this is the boundary, this is the border, this is the barrier, this is the self-protection, the self-preservation. So Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Swords, this is self-preservation. I'll play dead. No contact. So there was a big plan, there was a big idea. The world were at your fingertips. Here's the Two of Wands. You were going to do something, take action. You were planning. You understood that that timing was important. Planning and preparation were important. It was very, very, very critical moment to take you from the 2 to the 10. But then you went into preservation mode in between, because the Eight of Wands, your powerful ability to understand clearly what actions are necessary for your power and how to transmit that when you communicate it to another. So you just have the big bundle of bullshit and the hard road ahead of you, carrying all the things that you could have said, would have said, didn't say, all the things that you were planning to do, the lists, the binders, the notes in your phone, all the images that you have on your Pinterest board about the thing that you were trying to do there. You're just stuck with it here. It's just clutter. It takes up storage on your iPhone. What to do with the memories? They're super painful. You feel betrayed. You feel that you betrayed yourself. And there's also wisdom here, because you recognize that there was a limit of your understanding of it. You didn't know how to speak then. You didn't know how to receive the information then. You didn't know how to process it then. I think you've grown, because in this deck, the Tower of the Longest Dream, the owl is there. So there's wisdom gained from this pain. And it's also the 10, so there's the completion, right? It cannot get worse than this. And so because of the nature of physics, it can only get better from this place, which is cool. What's the dream? All right, let's play this out. Five of Swords, the Empress. Ooh. Justice, Six of Cups. Wow. And the Fool, Four of Wands. This might have to do with another person. Two of Wands, planning the world at your fingertips to take a direction for your life as it relates to devotion, justice. Six of Cups. This is a lot of affection for someone that means a lot to you, that you feel connected to, that you feel you would choose always, that you know is right for you. That the Fool is here walking towards. You want to take a chance on all of this. You see, if you look at these cards, this little arch here, bridging the gap. You want to bridge the gap of all the moments in every life where you've been separated from this Empress, this very important person. Four of Wands, the Tower, that you have been in somewhat of a relationship with. I'm not sure that you're speaking to them now, though. No, I'm not. Let us clarify. Okay. Okay. So where do we want to go first, Leo? We want to know how you feel about it. You're showing me the Page of Cups, but you're guarded with the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. So I don't know if I'm going to get much. And because you're so tight here, Four of Swords to the Five of Swords, I don't find any wiggle room. I'm going to try anyway. Show me the Page of Cups. Keep looking at, on this card from Mercury, on the physical, many words. How many words have been said? How many words did you not make good on? How many words have pierced you that you have said that you didn't get to take action on. Yeah, it's hard. Page of Cups, the Emperor, Six of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles, with the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, okay. So, like I told you, you're guarded. You're saying that you didn't have time for the emotionality of the Six of Cups. That was the person that we saw here, Six of Cups. And independent energy was what life asked of you, or at least that's how you perceived it. And so that's how you move forward, because the Ten of Pentacles is what you're working towards, and no one would come between you and your coin. Emperor has an empire, right? But here you are, heavy in the blue, playing the blues, and carrying all these wands. So it's heavy, whatever this coin-filled life looks like for you. It's heavy. And it's solo, currently, anyway. I don't need to see the Queen of Pentacles. You're telling me already that you've just been on the coin. Focus on the coin. Deflect is what you said. Stay silent. Play dead. But here's the thing. I don't dismiss that you're not healing. Four of Swords is the healing energy. But it's also a sword of truth. That's the ace that he lays upon. So I want to know, what are you sitting on? What are you laying on? What have you put to bed that you're going to just jump right to the Five of Swords and not find a way to express? This is the healing process you're on. The healing of the Empress. We've already seen the Empress. She's here. Page of Cups. Goes back to the emotional experience that you want to cover up. Covering that up like it's a scandal. Being vulnerable makes you sweat like a whore in church. You are not interested. Right. Okay. There it is. Two of Wands. You're still at the crossroads of how to make a life, how to choose, what to hold on to, what direction are you going to step towards? Where is your life? Where's your life? Where's your life? Turning your back on that life. Ace of Cups again, but who's in the Ace of Cups? Who's the Ace of Cups? Ace of Swords. That's the communication that Mercury is trying to bring in, the awareness of, many thoughts about or from, many words. King of Wands, that would be your energy. So let's see. Show me Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords. This is endings, physical exhaustion, mental disturbance. Show me the endings. Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords. Please. This is the Mercury card. This is the Sun in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, in case you didn't know that. The Chariot. Ooh, the ending looks like you move into a new direction. Where do you move? You consolidate your energy and you world it. Okay, you end this chapter. Close it. Who's the Queen of Wands? Who's the Queen of Wands? Looks like you're opening up a chapter. Who is your lady? Your Empress? Your Queen of Wands? Your divine counterpart? Is she a Sagittarius? Temperance is here. There is a balance that will be restored. Even if that just looks like closure, even if that just looks like a conversation, it looks like you're traveling to close this out. Show me more. Temperance. Temperance to the Hierophant. Healing the commitment, healing the pain, healing the covenant of trust for the dream, and learning, taking notes about the Ten of Pentacles, perhaps about your choices previously. maybe trying to understand how to be a Page of Swords because that's more comfortable for you than a Page of Cups, where it puts you into this coping mechanism, this default way to cover it up, pretend, and just focus on the coin. This is a trust and a faith that the coin will come, but that perhaps there are other matters that are just as important. Ooh! Okay. Okay, let's leave that alone for a little bit. Let's put that here. So, I want to go here. This is very important. So is the world, but the world is going to be closing and opening. You're going to graduate in some way, and that's clear. And you're going to open something, probably dialogue, with this Queen of Wands, who is also the Empress in your eyes. But the Chariot is going to be the healing that gets you there. Yes, the Hermit is the healing card, but the Chariot is like what you do with what you learn. It's the application of your wisdom, because you're going to consolidate your dark, your light, and you're going to get things moving. You're going to accept responsibility for who you are, how you show up, not what things happen to you, but who you are in it. That's really important, because the Chariot, as you know, has a curtain around the little box that's at the top of the Chariot. I don't know what that is. It makes me think of Aladdin all the time. But anyway, the star is the dream, which you have with this person because you've shown it to me. So that means that you're being guided to consolidate your energy for the dream that you were planning once previously over here in the Two of Wands. So show me the Chariot, please. And here's Neptune, marking that the dream has been here on the table the whole time. Let me just read it out to you, okay? You have the subconscious. Spiritually, it's asking you to inspire others with. Mentally, be prepared to sacrifice for. Physically, yielding is the only way to. Okay? All right. Show me this Chariot, consolidation of this energy, please. And we're just going to let them pop out. Show me this Chariot. Please. This is awesome. I have two messages here. 10 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Talking about happiness, clarity on what happiness means to you. Ace of Wands. Oh my God, I was going to say that we needed you to get back to the ace so you can remember which one that you're choosing, right? It's been so long and you need to come out of the 10. What comes after the 10 is the ace, so that you can actually close out the delay, this decoy, this detour, and start again, back to basics. Okay, wait, just stop, Leo. Showing off as usual. So you have 9 of Wands, 8 of Swords, King of, you can't see it. Sorry. So 9 of Wands, 8 of Swords, and King of Cups, okay? So the 9 of Wands is going to go a step back from being exhausted, right? So that means that you're going to reduce your burden and you're going to come to a place where you can stand and own and manage. 9 in tarot is about management. You're managing your actions. I told you, you're going to take responsibility and you're going to become resilient, not a victim, but resilient because of everything that you lived up until this point. You see, strength and resilience, they can go both ways. You can be strong because you can say, I'm never going to let that happen to me again, right? So you think that you are being strong and fighting against it. But if your focus is on fighting and defending yourself against something, you're actually calling it to play out again. But if you're resilient and you're not guarding against that same thing, you can move forward and be resilient. Why? Because 8 of Swords in reverse, another Mercury card. She can't see the thing. This is about like a mental paralysis, and it's the way that she's looking at it that's the problem. And remember how I told you that what was missing was the 8 from the 2 of Wands to the 10 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is missing. Here, if this was upright, it would be more contribution to the problem. But because it's in reverse, you're finally taking hold of your mind, being able to trace your thoughts. Like I talked about Mercury in the beginning, you're not getting lost. You're not spinning out, or as they like to say now, crashing out. You're able to stay with you and understand, Ace of Swords to 10 of Cups, what happiness is and how to take action towards it. King of Cups, the King of Cups with the 10 of Cups. Hello, you showed me the Ace of Cups 2 times as it relates to this Empress, who is also the Queen of Wands. Wow. There is a brand new beginning here between you and your special friend, okay? What do we do with that? Where do we go with that? Balance, choices, options, resurrection, endings of pain, and traveling. There's the 8 of Pentacles, power to do the work on the thing. And what's that? That's the 8 of Wands. And there's the 2 of Cups. The communication of love is present and all the doors open. Right. Okay. Well, I think that's a very succinct message. I don't know who you are thinking of, if this is a very special person for you. If you're not in a relationship, maybe this could be another person coming towards you, professing their own expression of love. And if you're meeting someone new, then you're, going to have a closure with this and be able to open up a new chapter, more consolidated, with someone that brings you into a place of King of Cups, where you're much more emotionally stable and not trying to run to the Emperor, where you cover up a vulnerable position, Emperor and Queen of Pentacles, just, close up shop and not let anyone in. This is what true emotional stability looks like. Cancerian energy. Cancer season is going to be huge for you for this process. July is going to take time, right? Because the Hermit is here. We saw the Temperance. There's time here. This is going to take time. But it's nice. It's a nice premonition. So I wish you all the best. And give me a thumbs up if you made it to the end of this reading. If not, until the next time I see you. Ciao.